This Cesar Sayoc Jr. was arrested in a place I used to live at Ventura, Miami, Florida, right outside of Miami. And tentatively they have him charged with sending out all these packages around the country with the bombs in each package. And we've been on this for 4 or 5 days. And he's had the whole country tied up because nobody wants to get a package of a bomb in the mail, and he's sending to some big people like Robert De Niro in New York City, Tribeca, and Joe Biden, former vice president, Miss Obama, president, Hillary Clinton, formerly Democratic presidential candidate and Secretary of State, and George Soros, multi-billionaire, and backs the Democrats. And what from these people that got all these packages with bombs in it, they're all Democrats. And this election, as we know, is coming November the 6th. In a couple countries, China's one and Russia's another one. They said that they were going to do some things to interrupt this election coming up that we had November 6th. And this is about as big an interruption as you can do, because we have the whole country tied up to where I won't even get my mail in front of my house. Also, I don't want to pick up my mail at the office, and I don't even want to go down to the post office to get where we have the
Well, he liked Trump, though, didn't he?
Where we have yeah, this guy was from Trump.
He did it to anybody that didn't like Trump.
Liked Trump. He was favored Trump, and supposedly that's a guy he was through for. And he did a lot of things, supposedly including this, to help Trump. And he's had a criminal record going on for about 20 years. He's been around Miami. I think he was born in New York. He had a lawyer down there called Ronald Lowry, and Ronald Lowry tries to talk about like he was a little off, not all there. And then he had a cousin that said that he was a loner and a lunatic. I mean, they're trying to make this guy look like he didn't know what he was doing. But I think there are people behind him, a lot of people. First of all, how many people do you know could mail these supposedly packaged bombs to people spread around the country and find their address and get it to them? A guy that's a loner, a guy that's a lunatic? No. Because that takes talent, and you have to know something about bombs. And all these bombs in the packages, they had 4 or 5 things in there that if you put together would explode. And some of them could explode if, depending on what the temperature was where the boxes were. So don't think these were just a bunch of nothing. They had all the 5 items that you need for that bomb to blow up. And there are supposed to be 10 other packages that are in the mail right now. But that this guy could do it by himself. I'm not a genius. I couldn't do it by myself either. And get the bombs, put all the things in the packages that you need for the bombs to go off, and send them all over the country to these different people in boxes. I think most of them were mailed out of Ventura, Florida, Miami, Florida. And this guy had trouble for the last 20 years, and his lawyer went through it, and most of it was a bunch of nothing. There was only one time where they cut off his lights, and he threatened the power company he was going to bring a bomb to him. But most of the things that he was charged with were small items. That was the Florida Power and Light. And he said, I bet you would leave my lights on if I threw a bomb at you. And his lawyer in Florida said, he was a confused man who had trouble controlling his emotions. So they figure because the guy has a long record, they can get him out of this with nothing. And even he said, this Sayoc, well, none of the bombs went off. Right, yeah, that's right. I got a package with all the things in it. If it hits the wrong temperature, it could go off. But so far, none of them went off. But there are supposed to be 10 other ones out there. And last thing this guy was doing, he was a delivery man for a store, and he was a dancer.
20.
He was a strip club dancer in a club in Florida. Says he had been a stripper, but I think this investigation is just starting because China and Russia said before that they were going to do something to interrupt our election, and this is over. Our election's in a few days, and this bombing thing is still going. There are 10 out there, and they are going to interrupt our election because most people won't check their mail. A lot of them, especially the Democrats, they're all scared to death because all the people that got these bombs in the mail from him were high-ranking Democrats, every one of them. Even CNN got one because Trump's always yelling at CNN, saying that they're not a good station and this and that. And the other thing was the bombs he had, they're still working on to see if they're functional. But the last guy I saw said that it had all the things you need for a bomb, and then even now, if it hit a certain temperature or something like that, they could go off. I think that he figures he's going to walk out of this. Right now, his possible sentence is 48 years. Frankly, I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to go after him. And I don't know what the charges are, the other 10 are. But this, in my opinion, is a case for the death penalty. Because any one of these bombs could go off. They could still go off. And the one he has 10 other ones. But anyway, this guy thinks he's going to walk. But I think once they start checking, you're going to see there are some other people involved that come from these countries that said they were going to interrupt our election. And our election is November 6th. And don't think this is over. It's been going every day now. The whole country's been at a standstill, and this is going to keep going until the election. So whatever countries are trying to do it, they would have stopped our election because most Democrats, in my opinion, are going to be afraid to go vote.